Okay, hello. Oh shit, my bad, guys. Yo, Robot King, you there? Yo, Robot King, you there? Can you hear me? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I just had a whole. I just had to. Gosh, there was a lot that I had to fix, but everything is fixed now. Okay, they removed my stream from YouTube because I named it the Big Gay Stream, and so they like deleted my stream. So I had to set it all up and do like I don't know. Sorry. I think my voice is a little bit loud. Let me raise the game audio a little bit, okay? And then let me also make sure that let me open YouTube and make sure that everything's working like it should be. Yeah, anyway, guys, sorry about that. Testing, 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 testing. My voice is really loud, but testing, testing, testing. Okay, I think it's working now. Awesome. Yeah, sorry I missed you, Robot King. Um, but yeah, guys, I'm back. Okay, I think we're good to start the stream. We can definitely do. All right, Robot King. Yeah. I'll go through it. Sorry, I was getting stuff set up. Sorry, I was getting stuff set up. All right, cool. All right, I think everything's ready to go, guys. Yeah, it's been a while. Hold on. You guys posted a whole bunch of stuff in chat. Man who beat and raped intruder jailed in Melbourne? What the fuck?
A Melbourne man who pressured and raped the intruder faces a minimum of 4 years in prison. Clee Holland, 32, was sentenced to 4 years and 10 months and 8 years without parole in Victoria's Supreme Court. On
What
Tuesday, Holland's victim, Shane Cox,
He raped his own intruder. Comedian Steve Harvey shuts down allegations that his wife
had
Marjorie
entered
cheated on.
contingent with a knife and 21. Clee Holland, 32, appeared before the Victorian Supreme Court on Tuesday. He wanted money and drugs and allegedly had connections with others who went home to look after a resident. Cox, 36, with high methamphetamine levels, lost to Holland, who was a guest at the house. Cox was beaten with a baseball bat and lay motionless on the ground, after which Holland raped her. His body was found under a pile of blankets at scene by...
What the fuck am I reading? Okay, this was funny at first, but now it's kind of not funny. Yo, what the fuck is going on? Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So a woman broke into his house and he fucking raped her? Man who bashed and raped home intruder in Melbourne? Melbourne rape intruder. What the fuck, dude? Australian man. This is even worse than Florida. This is even worse. Hold on. Bro, this is even worse than shit. This is even worse than Florida. Yeah, that's insane. He overpowered and raped an intruder. Okay, so Clay, 32, he was sentenced to 8 years. Holland's victim, Shane Cox, had broken into a unit in his armed with a knife and wearing a mask. He had asked for money and drugs and was allegedly linked to others who had gone home to stand over. Okay, Cox, 36, was high on meth, was overpowered by Holland, who was a guest at the home. Cox was beaten with a baseball bat and was incapacitated, where Holland then raped him. What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? He raped a dude that was... What the fuck? Okay, so this guy is called Clay Holland. Okay, Holland's victim, Shane Cox, had broken into a unit. He asked for money and drugs. Okay, Cox was the intruder, so the intruder was high on meth, and he lost to Holland, and he was just a guest at the house. Okay, he beat him over the head, and then he raped the man. His body was found at the scene under a pile of blankets a day later by police who arrived at the property. He was hog-tied his mouth and duct taped, and his pants were pulled down to his upper thighs. A jury convicted Holland of one charge of rape, but he was found not guilty of manslaughter. Is he alive? Did he kill him? I thought manslaughter meant that you killed the guy. Manslaughter. Killing a human being. So he fucking killed him. Oh my gosh. He like raped him until he died. Your rape of Mr. Cox was callous, degrading, and humiliating act of retribution. Holland's mental impairment, time in prison during the pandemic, and separation from his 3 young children were all taken into consideration. Holland? What the fuck, dude? Man jailed for raping masked intruder. Bro, he literally raped another man. Bro, he literally raped another man. Maybe he was a femboy, I don't know. Bro, it's fucking insane. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and read the okay, yeah, you DM'd it to me. Let's do it. All right, let's start from the top. I've been reading a lot lately. I've been reading Dante's Inferno. The sun rose, casting a gentle golden glow over Mihan village. It resided within the outlands. Ezra walked through the lively commune, looking at the stone shielding fountain which contained a water blue relic. He was finally 15, and his mother allowed him to leave and explore as he pleased. He followed a path leading the exit, passing by the impossible number of giant wooden houses. After a while, he finally made it through the village's azure blue shield and stopped to look at the open fields of the outlands. Miles upon miles of open emerald grass lay before him as if untouched by humans. And then, yeah, it's good. Entire forest grew unchecked. Wild animals did as they pleased without any threats. His body seemed to walk by itself. His walk slowly turned into him sprinting through the giant fields. His heart raced with excitement as he traveled further and further away from Mihan village and into the wonders of the world where he had been kept for so long. He played outside for hours trying to perfect his ability to slow down time once the sun fell behind mountains that surrounded the outlands. This is a little bit rushed. Slow down time. This is kind of saying and not showing. If you're going to introduce us to his abilities to slow time down, I would say show it to us. Show it to us, right? So this is all great so far up here. All of this is amazing. You know, it's all slow. It's very slice of life. Hey, I'm hanging out in my village with my mom, right? I have a family, obviously. You know, there's trees. You're setting the scene. Beautiful, beautiful. So I would say keep this, keep this. Maybe he does it with his mom, right? Maybe, oh, his mom was making dinner and she made something he doesn't like. Ew, mom, I hate that food. So then he slows down time. So then he leaves, right? Because he doesn't want to eat that. So he stops his mom in her tracks or something. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show, don't say, right? Anyway, slow down time. Once the sun fell behind the mountains that surrounded the outlands, Ezra began to think about going home. As soon as he looked in the direction of Mihan, he heard a loud crash, followed by a boy screaming for help. Meaning to go back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show, don't tell. So, this is a big deal, right? So you don't have to show everything, right? You don't have to show everything. Like the book would go on forever if you showed every little thing, right? I'm not saying show every little thing. I'm saying with important things like if he has the power to slow down time, that's a huge part of the story of his character, right? Of the lore. So for things like that, for important things, I would say show don't tell. Especially since the first two paragraphs were so strong with world building. Like make the power to slow down time part of the world, right? Maybe he was looking at a water drop, right? He's loving nature. He loves nature. He's outside enjoying nature, and he sees like a water drop, right, from a leaf, and then he stops time, and then the water is just floating there in like in this in like in the middle of like space, in the middle of the sky, right? Or maybe it's raining, right? Maybe it's raining and he doesn't want to get hit by the rain, right? He's like, "Oh no, it's raining." So then he stops time. So then like the rain stops and then he can avoid the rain, and then he goes under like some trees or something, and then he turns the time back on, and then it starts raining again, right? Or maybe he can't control it that much, so he just like freaks out. He's like, "Oh shit, rain." And he freaks out, and then he stops time by accident or something, and then he like goes and hides, and then the rain starts again. Once he calms down, then the time goes back to normal or something. I don't know, but I guess my point is show don't tell for important things. So show us the time. I'm sure you're gonna show us later, but just to at the beginning, the first time that you mention it, I think it's important to show it the first time. Um, As soon as he looked in the direction of Meehan, he heard a loud crash, followed by a boy screaming. Ezra turned towards the screaming without thinking. He felt his body spinning towards the cries for help. Once he got close to screaming, he saw the boy struck underneath a large rubble. Ezra stared down at the mile-wide pit that had once held the Azalea village. The boy stopped screaming. He thought the boy had died before he got there, but once he slid down into the 10-foot wall of dirt and debris, he noticed the boy was still barely breathing. The rubble had completely covered his lower body, pinning his legs under two large glass windows that seemed to have broken years before the explosion. Shards of glass had cut into the boy's legs. Ezra heard him whimpering under the extreme weight of the large wooden glass. He quickly ran over to the boy and tried to push off some rubble. He grabbed a large piece of jagged, broken wall and pushed his ears and rang, and the hands bled. Nothing gave way. Ezra's short, sun-bleached hair covered his blue eyes as he looked down at the buried child, sweating dripped down his face. "I'll be right back. Please stay calm. I'll get help." Ezra waited for some sort of answer from the child for a moment. Got nothing. He watched in desperation as the child began to force his way out of the rubble. Quickly, Ezra sped home. He looked through the house for his mother. "Mom, I need your help. There's a kid hurt," he yelled through the house, and raced around. His mom walked out of the living room and into the wooden, worn-down hallway. "What's going on?" she answered, a bit of concern creeping through her voice. Her blonde hair was put up in a messy bun, which left one of the thin thread of the hair that had fallen over her ocean blue eyes, and the pale skin seemed to glow in the sun that seeped through the windows. Ezra gasped, trying to catch his breath. "There's a boy trapped under the rocks and badly hurt. I need help. I need help getting him free. He even has shards of glass stuck in his leg." His mom quickly ran towards the front door, swinging it open. She began calling over people for Ezra to bring to the child. Hours passed after they returned. They brought the child to the old hospital full of Meehan's strongest healing sorcerers. Ezra walked into the hospital, the gray concrete hallway seeming to have an endless number of doors lining the walls. Next to every door was a big window that allowed people to see the patients. Ezra looked through every window and walked by, looking for the barely living boy he saw trapped under the rubble, what he assumed was the kid's home. As he walked the hallway, he seemed endless. Door after door after door, he finally found the boy sleeping in the hospital bed. Ezra couldn't tell if he had completely healed his injuries, but he knew the boy was alive, even just barely. Ezra walked towards the door into the boy's room, careful not to wake him as he gently pushed it open. He waited until the door was open just enough for quickly slip into the room. Quietly, he walked over the boy's, looking at his arm to see if it was injured. Nothing showed. Boy's eyes gently opened as Ezra watched. His eyes seemed to float in the direction to make eye contact. "Hello, my name's Ezra. What's your name?" the boy said in response. "I hope you're feeling better. If your village was attacked, I'm sorry, but you're welcome to stay. Mihan's very safe, and nothing has ever come close to breaking the shield around it, so there won't be any attacks." Ezra took a step towards the boy. He frowned as the boy avoided contact, looking at the walls, windows, and what seemed to be random objects. "Are you scared?" Ezra stood next to the kid's bed and gently placed his hand on his arm. "I promise you're perfectly safe here. Nothing can hurt you anymore. Besides, even if there is a chance that we'll break the shield, we have some really powerful sorcerers to fight off the bad guys." He smiled at the kid, but it was not returned. The boy looked over at him. His dark brown eyes seemed to be full of thoughts. His brown hair hung loosely down his face. A quiet "thank you" was all the boy said before closing his eyes and slowly falling asleep. Yeah, I like it. I like the difference between the boy's brown hair and Ezra's blonde hair. I like that a lot. You have two totally different characters here, right? But they're in two totally different situations. One is from a peaceful place, and one is from a violent place. My Twitch is lagging. Fuck, dude. I'm on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. I like the difference between them. I like the difference between Ezra and the boy that we meet in the first chapter. There's a big difference between one free loving and peaceful spirit and the other one who's seen some shit, right? Yeah, so far so good. Uh, yeah, I think the way that you describe kind of where you're at and what's going on is good. I think that the village is described well. I do wish that the slow down time was shown a little bit more, and I do wish that the sorcerers were shown a little bit more. Maybe there could be a sorcerer in the hospital as a doctor or something, and like one of the sorcerers is there, right? And then maybe the sorcerer can explain who he is and what his job is. Um, but yeah. Cause okay, you don't have to show everything, is what I'm saying. You don't have to show every little thing that you do in your book. I'm not trying to say make the book a million fucking chapters long. But when it comes to the main kind of elements that make it a fantasy, right? Because like we don't have sorcerers in our everyday life. We don't have shields, and we don't have like maybe even like include a scene where Ezra's throwing a rock at the shield just because he's bored. Like, or maybe the rain, right? Maybe it's raining really hard, and like the rain can't even get through the shield. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the lore, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, can rain go through the shield or not? Because they need to have like agriculture in where they live, right? So, what does the shield block exactly? Does it block everything, or does it only block like enemies, like humans? Does it only block humans? Um, so yeah. These are like important concepts that the reader does not understand. So me as a reader, I don't understand what it means slow down time. I don't understand what sorcerers are in this world because they're different. Like in Harry Potter, like a sorcerer is different, right? Um, so yeah. Or maybe don't introduce it. Maybe don't talk about sorcerers yet. Maybe don't even talk about sorcerers yet. But if you're gonna introduce something that we don't know about, I would say show it. Like whenever you're introducing something, show it. Uh, yeah, I'm not saying show everything. I'm not saying show everything. The shield, the sorcerers, and the stop, the time stop is, in my opinion, those are the big things. So if you can show it, like I said, for his time stopping power, like maybe it's raining and he's like, "Fuck, I hate rain," and then he stops time to get away from the rain, and then the rain, and then he hides under like a rock or something or a tree, and then it starts raining again when he hides, right? So kind of to show the power, show it. The shield, right? You can show that, like, okay, he throws a rock at it, right? He throws a rock at the shield and it can't go through the shield, right? Maybe the rain can go through. I don't know. Can the rain go through? That's the thing. Maybe the rain can. Maybe it allows rain. Maybe rain can go right through the shield, no problem, right? Maybe. But then Ezra throws a rock at the shield and then it gets blocked, right? You can show that. Or don't even mention it. Maybe don't even mention it if you want to introduce it later. But what I'm saying is that when you introduce it, show it. When you introduce it, right? So you could do it here, I think. Like maybe he's just chilling outside in nature, hanging out. He's bored. So he just picks up a rock and he throws it at the shield and it blocks it, right? And then with the sorcerers, if you want to introduce it here in the first chapter, I would say maybe have a sorcerer there if he has a healing power. I don't know. I don't know if the sorcerers are healers or if they're just like military, if they're just offensive. I don't know. That's the thing. See, are the sorcerers offensive or are they defensive? Are they healers? Are they doctors? Or are they just military, like soldiers? Are they police officers? Like who are they? So if you're going to introduce the sorcerers here, I would have another character who is a sorcerer kind of explain what his job is, or maybe he's doing his job right, or maybe wait until later to introduce the sorcerers. But yeah, I would say when you're introducing these novel ideas that you don't see in other stories or in real life, I would say show don't tell. All right, chapter 2. The son of the outland stabbed through the darkness of Owen's bedroom. He slowly opened his eyes and groggily sat up, looking at the window. His sun peeked over the mountains as if he was walking up as well. His village was surrounded by thick forest that he had never fully explored. Owen stood up, feeling his bare feet press against the cold hardwood floor, wiped the sleep away, and made his way out of the closet. He pulled back the oak door and scanned a few amounts of clothes he hung there. Some had been torn from the past trips. He grabbed a white shirt that he deemed to be the least destroyed before tearing off his pajamas. Placing them on a nearby chair that was set next to the closet door, he threw on a white t-shirt and pulled a pair of worn-down jeans from the white hanger hidden away in the back corner. He pulled them on, tripping over himself in the process and hitting the ground with a loud thud. "You okay?" when a feminine voice gently made his way through the wooden door. He sat up, rubbing the back of his head before pulling the pants up the rest of the way. "Yes, Mom, I'm fine, thank you," he answered, getting back onto his feet. He opened the door, and the smell of bacon invaded the halls. Owen followed the scent, making his way into the kitchen. He saw his sisters and Mom sitting at the dinner table. They had a plate with bacon and eggs. He noticed a fourth plate that was set in front of an empty chair. He smiled to himself as he sat down. "I heard you fall. Are you okay?" Susan asked as Owen picked up the fork. She made a light eye contact as she continued to eat. Her silky, dirty blonde hair was tied back into a ponytail, and her oceanic eyes reflected light. Megan seemed completely absorbed in her food, shoving chunks of scrambled eggs in her mouth. Owen chuckled a bit. Light brown hair curtained over the plate. "Yeah, I tipped over my legs." "Yo, what up, Dragon Slayer? Good to see you, bro." Um, yeah, dude. What the fuck with this? I was reading through chat on Discord, and bro, hold on a second. What is up with this fucking man who? Hold on. We had a few good things going on here, bruh. Rip Ellen Page, bro. She used to. I mean, I don't know. She wasn't even really that hot when she was a girl, honestly. But now she just looks like straight up ass. Uh, Leo. Okay, this is good, honestly, bro. Bro, I'm trying to watch Ram. What's that movie? There's a movie that I was watching that was this like Indian action movie. Ram. Ravi. RRR. This fucking movie, dude. This fucking movie is amazing. I can't really show it, but because I'm gonna get copyrighted if I do. Bro, I'm trying to watch RRR. This movie's so fucking funny, dude. Uh, Columbo versus Light. I do want to like do this. I 100% want to do this. Columbo would break Light because that's bullshit. There's no way in hell that Columbo would break Light. Fuck that. But yeah. Anyway, Dragon Slayer, how you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Okay. Warrior of Light. Okay. Hit my head pretty hard, but I can still hunt today. Susan and her mom laughed quietly. Anyway, Owen, I put your hunting gear outside so you didn't have to go looking for it. His mom told him. She got up from the table, grabbed her now empty plate, and brought it over to the sink. Owen ate his breakfast quickly, got up, and handed his plate to his mom. "I'm going to be out for longer than usual, but I'll be back before the sun is down." Owen told his mom with a smile, "Thanks for breakfast." He walked out the door. The village seemed busy with groups of people walking into the nearby stores and relics, potions, foods, or other things they may need to get by the day. The noise of feet hitting the stone path gently echoed through the streets. Owen looked to his left, seeing the wooden boat his mother had made for him, and he showed an interest in hunting. When he was 7, a smile crossed his face as he walked over to it, seeing the quiver gently sat next to it. Several iron-tipped arrows had been neatly put into it. He grabbed the bow and quiver, and gently putting the quiver on, he slipped on his leather boots that were sitting on the porch steps and made his way through the village, dodging rushing people and unsupervised children. I'm trying to get chapter 8 done. Nice. The next death battle episode is going to be Bardock versus Omni-Man. That's going to be a great one. Bardock is an underrated character in Dragon Ball. But yeah, hold on. Let me finish this chapter, okay? After a few minutes, he finally made it to the end of the village. He looked into the massive amounts of trees and unattended grass. He followed the dirt path, watching his sunlight become dimmer and dimmer. The path slowly disappeared into nature, covering grass gradually. Owen looked up, seeing the enormous redwood trees touch the sky and smother the sun within their leaves. He walked silently, hearing the crunching leaves underneath his leather boots in seemingly hours. Finally, he heard the sounds of animals. Hooves hitting the dirt seemed to come all around him. He spotted a large pheasant perched in a tree. Its eyes seemed to scan the area but hadn't noticed Owen. He calmly put an arrow out of his quiver, loading it up the bow. He gently pulled out the string back. He kept his eye on the giant bird. He made sure To stand within the small patches of light he could muster in the thick woods, he carefully aimed the arrow at the bird's head, focusing on the warmth of the sunlight. He felt every inch of his body warm up. The arrow seemed to illuminate itself, giving off a gentle glow. Suddenly the bird took off. Owen let go of the arrow, sending it curving through the air and towards the flying bird. He made sure to keep his arrow in the sunlight, keeping his eye on the head of the animal. He watched as the arrow picked up speed and struck right into the bird's head. Owen ran towards where he thought the animal had fallen. He saw the dead body of the bird, the arrow sticking out of its eye. He smiled to himself, thinking his mom would be happy with the size of the giant pheasant. He crouched next to the lifeless animal, careful not to break the arrow. The illumination from the arrow had left, leaving only just the wooden shaft. Once it was out, he threw the pheasant over his shoulder and began walking home. He listened to the crunching of falling leaves under the leather boots. Thorn bushes pulled out on his jeans, barely scratching him through the thin denim. Once exiting the thick woods, he noticed the sun had begun to go down, projecting a reddish tint across the once green fields of tall grass. He hurriedly marched his way through the field, feeling the warm blood of pheasant trail down the back of his white shirt. He thought about how unhappy his mother would be once she saw the new stain. He looked down at the dirt path and watched loose rocks move away out of his foot. He began to mindlessly walk. A cool wind swirled gently around him. As he made his way back home, he noticed a bright light coming from the direction of his village. As he grew closer, the light got brighter. Soon he saw flames. Hold on, my dogs are... my dogs need me. Come here, doggies. Come on. Come on. Sorry, guys. They got rained on. You guys can go ahead and cool off. Cool off. Yeah, I left my dogs outside and it was raining. Oops. They seemed miles high, lighting up the night sky as if it were. Panic invaded his body almost immediately. Without thinking, he dropped the pheasant, sprinting into the flames of his village. It seemed as if the world around him was in flames. The endless fire burned his skin, but he didn't care. All he could think about was getting to his house. Crowds of people raced past him, nearly causing him to fall over from time to time. He saw his house near the end of the village. It, too, was up in flames. His heart dropped as he watched his house fall in front of him. Once he made it to the front of his house, he watched helplessly as the rubble burned up. I'm sure they got out in time. Megan has foresight. I just have to wait for them to come back looking for me, he muttered to himself, trying desperately to calm his nerves. The flames grew by the second. For hours the fire burned stronger and stronger, seemingly touching the sky. His nerves grew worse. Where the fire finally died, it was midday. Owen ran over to the rubble. He threw down his bow, hearing the thump of thick wood hitting the rocky path. Before throwing what pieces of wood were left out of his way, he grabbed a giant piece of concrete slab. He mustered as much strength as he could, slowly pulling the huge slab away, revealing his mom and Susan. Faces were charred and almost unrecognizable. Shards of glass had stuck into his mom's neck and arms, and he saw that she had put herself over Susan, trying to block her from the falling grass and rubble. Owen took a step back, looking at the bodies of his sister and mom. He shook his head in disbelief, trying to convince himself what he was seeing wasn't real. This has to be fake. This isn't that. Maybe this is wrong house. He tried convincing himself. His body felt hot and his legs started to feel weak. He couldn't take his eyes off the burnt faces and his loved ones. No, please be fake. You can't die yet, Mom, he begged before collapsing next to the rubble. He screamed in agony. Grief grabbed him and refused to let him go. His mind was foggy, as if all his thoughts had either become unreadable for him or singular mass of words. All he knew was he wanted his mom, he wanted to hug her, and he tell her he loved her. He looked at Susan. Her body had been stuck under his mom, who had attempted to protect her. His skin had melted away. Her skin had melted away, leaving charred remains of a face. Her eyes were missing. The loose strands of hair were somehow still attached to her head. Owen curled up into a ball, forcing himself to look away. He felt his body shaking as he began to sob. His sobs turned into screams. Hours passed, running him dry of tears. He laid next to the rubble, looking at the blue sky, completely thoughtless, now hugging his bow tightly. Grief attacked his heart as if he were trying to kill him. The village had grown quiet, empty, except for Owen. Time seemed to go by slowly. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like hours, and hours felt like years. Quiet footsteps echoed through the destroyed village. The footsteps slowly got louder and louder. Once they were a few feet from him, they stopped. Silence rang out. "Hello, sir. Are you alive?" A man's voice cut through the silence. Owen gently tilted his head to look towards the voice. A blond-haired man stood on the path of the village. His hair was pulled from his face, revealing his light blue eyes seeming to reflect the sunlight. His skin seemed nearly flawless, as he was a teenager. The man walked closer. His eyes stuck to the revealed corpses of Owen's family. His face softened as a small form frowning. He shook his head gently before looking back at Owen. "I assume these two were close to you." The man's voice was gentle, as if he was being careful. He wore a light gray jacket that was a size too big for him. His black jeans looked like he fell and slid in some loose dirt. A golden chain hung around his neck with the hourglass attached to it. Owen turned away from the man, hoping he'd go away and leave him alone with his family. The man stood over him looking down. Owen kept his eyes glued forward, trying to ignore him. The man stood next to him, looking out into the fields. They both let a silence set in until the man spoke up. My name is Apollo Shields. If you want, then I can give you a place to stay. It's completely free. You would only have a few other people living there. Owen didn't say anything back. I know you don't know me, but I understand how it feels to lose someone close to you. Apollo touched his hourglass necklace and looked down at Owen, seeing his ashy, soot-filled blonde hair. After a few minutes, the crying seemed to stop. Apollo peeked over Owen's shoulder. I can leave if you want me to. I just thought you'd like a place to stay. Please don't leave. I don't want to be alone. Apollo turned around, seeing Owen now sitting up. I can't believe they're gone, Owen gently said. Apollo looked towards him. I'm sorry this all happened. Like I said, though, if you need a place to stay, my house always has a room for one more. Apollo smiled comfortingly. Sadly, though, I do need to get going on, but you can come along. I guess it might be a good idea. Owen agreed, glancing towards his mom. He took a deep breath in an attempt to calm himself a bit before grabbing Apollo's hand and gripping his bow tighter. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you. Apollo smiled, gently gripping into Owen's hand. The world around them seemed to slow. The air became still. Suddenly, everything stopped. Owen watched as Apollo looked around his work in astonishment at his power. This is some of my magic. Suddenly, they began to speed up. The giant village became incredibly small, and people were hardly recognizable as they sped by. Suddenly, they stopped moving. They stood in front of a two-story building. It was white with light and blue stains. A balcony hung from the front of the building, allowing the owner to look. The outlines nature had grown. In the foundation of the big structure, stone pedestals held up the outside of the balcony. Small cracks had formed under the base of the pillars. Celestia should be home. She normally likes to guard the place while I'm out. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What is your name? Owen, he said. I like the name. Anyway, welcome to your new home. Let's go inside. The smell of lit candles invaded Owen's nose. It gave the room a scent of pumpkin pie. A woman walked out the nearby hallway. Her face lit up as she saw Apollo. Apollo, you're home. She hugged him. She looked over at Owen. He noticed she completely towered over him. She looked barely under 7 feet. I'm Celestia. I pretty much protect this place while Apollo's away. If you need anything, please let me know. A wide smile seemed to stuck on her face as she spoke. Apollo laughed. This is Owen. I think he'll be here for a little while. I'll show him to his room. Apollo walked past Celestia down the hallway in the dorm rooms. They made their way past 3 doors, each having different names. Ezra, Anastasia, Celestia. At the end of the hall, there was a wooden door with the name Isaac scratched onto it. Apollo opened the door and looked inside it. Looked exactly like Owen's room. How did you do this? Owen asked, looking towards Apollo in astonishment. These rooms perfectly replicate the place the owner finds most comforting, Apollo explained. He sat on the bed. So you find your bedroom the most comforting place, since this particular room was made for an old friend. It doubles as a therapy room. Where's your friend now? Owen asked, trying to change the topic. Well, he left a while ago and had hoped he'd come back, but he never did, Apollo explained. It's been a few years since I last saw him, but I've kind of given up on the thought. Owen walked over to his bed, sitting next to Apollo. What do you think of your new room? Pretty cool, Celestia smiled, walking around the room. She stopped behind them, looking out the window. Bro, you got the best room. Mine doesn't even have a window, she laughed. Anyway, I'll let you get comfortable here. If you need anything, I'll be in the training room. I'm sure Celestia can show you. Apollo stood up and left the room before anything else could be said. For real, though, why is your bed comfier than mine? She asked, sitting up and looking over at Owen. He chuckled, looking back at her. I'm not sure. It just feels like my bed at home. Why does your room look like? He hugged his legs, turning to Celestia. To see Celestia better, her long, dark brown hair was spread across the bed. Owen noticed her hair matched the color of her left eye. Celestia bounced up in an upright position. My room is the same as my room back in the kingdom, she told him. You lived in a kingdom? Why did you leave to come to the Outlands? You do know the king doesn't care about us, right? I'd rather not get into all that. It's your first day here. I should make you something to eat. Do you like roasted hydra? Hydra, as in the monster from the legends? Yeah, it's a delicacy in the royal realm. She walked through the living room into the kitchen. She looked over at Owen from behind the marble. Based on your reaction, this is your first time having hydra. I'll make it the best I can. Just sit down for a bit and I'll get it when it's done. He watched as she prepared the hydra foot. After a few minutes, she handed him a plate cut into pieces of what was a giant green foot of a monstrous beast. She handed him a fork and moved some condiments in front of him. Help yourself, she said, before walking out of the kitchen and into the living room. Nice. Speeding through these chapters, yeah. Of course, of course. The next Death Battle episode is going to be Bardock versus Omni-Man. Fuck, dude. But yeah, no, this second chapter is a lot longer than the first. I think it's good. I think it's better overall. The second chapter doesn't introduce it introduces time travel or time speeding up or all these time powers I think are shown better in this second chapter. You could even start with this, honestly. You could even start with chapter 2. But yeah, chapter 2 is good, I would say. I would say that this is a show don't tell kind of situation. This is what I mean, right? Cuz when you introduce the time powers from Apollo, you show it. You introduce that he can like control time, and then you show him doing it when he like stops the time around him. So I think this is a better introduction to the plot device of stopping time. Welcome to read chapter 8. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll probably stop here at 2. I'll probably stop here at 2. But that's what I liked about the second chapter. I think that you introduced the concept of time stopping time or speeding up time. Uh, I think you introduced that idea well here by showing it and not saying it. So I think it was so good that it could even just be the first chapter, honestly, since it's so different from the first. Like the second chapter is so different from the first chapter. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is good. I think this would even be good as a first chapter, just depending on what you want to do. Of course, it's not a big deal. Of course, you could. There's a lot you can do with this chapter 1 as well. But Bardock versus Omni Man, I actually don't know Omni Man. Omni Man respect thread. Um, who the fuck is Omni Man? You should read 4 because it gets into the more interesting stuff. Yeah, yeah. The only thing is that chat has been talking about like death battles this whole time, and it's been piling up for so long that I have to address this. I have to address the death battles. They've been piling up in chat this whole time that I haven't been streaming. Which is why I have to address the death battles. But yeah, no, I like I said, yeah, I liked them. I liked the first 2 chapters. But yeah, if you want, we can definitely discuss the first 2. I can probably read the remaining ones maybe after we do the death battle stuff. Cause I mean, I trust me, I know Bardock. Bardock is like Saiyan Saga Raditz level. He's probably stronger than Raditz and weaker than Nappa. Like, yeah, Nappa versus Bardock. That would be a really good fight, actually. Um, Bardock is stronger, but realistically, it makes more sense Nappa. Saying Bardock gets stomped, but he managed to fight his way through dozens of soldiers just to get Frieza. If the average soldier was 2K, he had to be decently above them to break his way through. Put him on par with Nappa. Only if you take Nappa's power level of 4,000 as fact, which is disputed. Old school Bardock. I think you'd like the main villain, yeah. No, I'm glad that you're holding the villain off. Because yeah, when you're introducing the story, I would say the first 2 chapters, the first chapters in general, it's really about setting up. The first chapters are really about setting up the environment, the ambiance, the setting, right? The characters. Where are you and who are you? Really is what you want to do in the first chapters. What you're doing, like what am I gonna do? That should come later, after you finish all the intros. Old school Bardock from Father of Goku was supposedly on King Vegeta's level. The recent rework canon Dragon Ball Minus and Dragon Ball Broly film is weaker than Raditz, let alone Nappa. Fuck. We have no reason to believe he's weaker than Raditz. That comes from fans misreading and misinterpreting Toriyama. OG Bardock had a power level of 10,000. He would have whooped Nappa's 4,000. I don't know if that's true. Goku without Kaioken hardly whoop. Nah, that's a stupid thing. Even when Nappa seemed to be doing better, Goku was still in control. Exactly. Compared to Beerus, how strong is Super Saiyan God? None of these actors are really satisfactory, to be honest with you. Bardock is definitely Nappa level, though. It seems like it's going back and forth. Who's stronger, Nappa or Bardock? Like, They're on the same level, so 4,000 power level to 10,000. In canon, Nappa destroys Bardock. Nappa stomps probably nearly effortlessly if you can use canon Bardock at least. Non-canon Bardock from Father of Goku probably beats Nappa low mid diff. Right, because he beats all the soldiers, but he loses to Dodoria though. He loses to Dodoria, doesn't he? So he's not that strong. Um, Dodoria versus Bardock. Don't they fight? He can't even fight Bardock versus Frieza's men. Right? He beats a bunch of Frieza's men, which are like 2,000 power level, right? But then Dodoria beats Bardock.
Those were some of Frieza's.
Yeah, Bardock loses. Yeah, Bardock loses to Dodoria, so Dodoria power level. No, he gets his ass kicked. Dodoria's 22k. Yeah, no, he's fucked. So yeah, so that would mean that Bardock's power is between 4,000 and 10,000 for sure. All right, what's going on with Omni Man? I don't even know who this guy is. Omni Man. The main villain is definitely going to have you discussing some deep shit though. Yeah. No, I like the philosophy when I read a book for sure. I can see it now. Yeah, honestly, like for me, in my opinion, as a writer, I think that a story is only as strong as its villain, personally. Because the villain is what pushes the main character to show his personality or his strengths or his ability to, navigate the story. There's no plot without a villain. There's no plot without conflict. It's like impossible to have a plot or a story without a bad guy. So in my opinion, in your story so far, we know that there is a bad guy because his whole family died. So we know somebody did it, you know. Maybe it was Apollo. Maybe Apollo did it. Maybe it's a twist. Maybe the good guy is actually the bad guy, right? So yeah. But we don't know yet, so that's good. The mystery is good. We just know that someone attacked the village, someone killed Owen's family, and then someone almost killed Owen. And the mystery there is very suspenseful. It's a good thing. Taylor Swift versus Majin Buu. Dude, what the fuck? Taylor Swift in her lyrics where she says she's like invincible. Taylor has mastery over death. Yeah, she has music like I'm invincible, I'm untouchable, you can't hurt me and shit like that. This is so fucking retarded. Anyway, yeah, okay. Omni Man. Who the fuck is this Omni Man N-word? We'll read more later in the stream. Yeah. Honestly, as soon as I get through Omni Man and as soon as I get through what do you call it? Columbo, dude. I've been doing some research on this fucking Columbo guy. I don't know if my stream will get
Or of knowing that this negative was in the back of this particular camera.
I don't know if my stream will get copyrighted if I do a Columbo video. Columbo respect thread. Do they have a Columbo respect thread? Columbia. Nah, nigga, I'm talking about Columbo. Isn't he a sergeant or something? Columbo. Columbo show. Columbo. Columbo. Just one more thing. A thread designed to discuss the TV detective. Interesting. I'm excited to hear about your feedback specifically. Thanks, man. Yeah. Like I said, the first two chapters were great. I mean, we have a lot to talk about just there. So we don't have a respect thread for it. Columbo respect. Peter Falk truly enjoyed working with Donald Pleasance and praised his commitment to acting. The best episode ever. Yeah, this is such an obscure matchup that there's no information on it, dude. Somebody has to do the research. I mean, I'm doing it now. Lieutenant Columbo, right? He's a lieutenant. But there's no actual thread that has all of his feats. I don't know how to spell lieutenant. Lieutenant. The dumbest criminal who can beat Columbo. Columbo seems to win a lot of matchups. I'm fairly certain his most renowned wins are against Light Yagami and Walter White. Now, obviously, if you put him against somebody like Composite Lex Luthor, he's going to be a little out of his depth. Mr. Bean. Dude, James Bond would fuck this guy up. But anyway, back to Omni-Man. What is going on with Omni-Man? Okay. History. Invincible resisted his father's request to join him in conquering the Earth, and after Omni-Man beat his own son nearly to death, he fled the planet. With a moral crisis in space, he started a new family, fathering Oliver, and following his capture by the Viltrumites, he realized he truly loved his human wife, Deborah. After befriending Alan the alien, the two escaped their Viltrumite prison and began collecting methods of combating the Viltrumites for the coalition of planets, ultimately successful in destroying Viltrumium and reducing the Viltrumite population drastically. Omni-Man rekindled his life with Deborah shortly before rediscovering he was the true inheritor of the Viltrumite throne. Oh shit. So he wiped out his own home. Damn. Ruling over the Viltrumites as emperor, Omni-Man saw to his people's protection to the bitter end, dying in battle with the challenger to his throne, Thrag. Omni-Man survived long enough to pass his legacy on to his son. Super strength, durability, endurance, stamina, longevity, speed, and flight. Okay, carries aircraft, lifts tank, throws baseball around the world, catches a roller coaster. Okay, so he's like city level, right? He's pretty city level. Wrecks advanced war machines, punches in a giant robot, crashes through a mall's roof. I don't know. I think Bardock wins this one. Um, Scaling. Demolishes Invincible in a fight and creating massive amounts of collateral damage. His first punch sends Invincible through the buildings, destroying and impacting, killing thousands. He tackles Invincible through the ground. Briefly overpowers two Viltrumites in a fight, smashing through stone, cracking their heads together, and tossing them a distance away. So who is this Invincible guy? Invincible. Yeah, I don't know who this Invincible guy is. This is a good story. They're just beating the shit out of this guy, bro. This is a pretty one-sided fight. So he can like fly around and shit. But he's not like Superman. He's not like Superman though. Okay. Exchanges blows with Alan, crashing through walls, overpowering several soldiers. Exchanges blows with Thrag, managing to save Deborah amidst the fight as they destroy a moon base. Right. So he's not planet level, dude. That's the thing. The thing is that Nappa is pretty much planet level. Bardock is pretty much planet level. Vegeta could destroy a planet. I don't know if Nappa could. Could Nappa destroy planets? I don't think he could, to be honest. Vegeta destroys a planet, but it's not clear if Nappa could have done it. No, I don't think it's possible. Yeah. If we take into account we never see Goku or Nappa destroy planets, it's possible that it would be 1800. Yeah, I honestly don't think Nappa could do it. Nappa was city level as well, so that would make Bardock city level. So this would be good. Okay, so yeah, Bardock can't destroy a planet. He cannot. So this would be a good fight. Yeah, this would be a good fight. He loses to Dodoria. He's about the strength of Nappa. Nappa was just destroying cities. He was destroying airplanes and he was destroying tanks. And even when Nappa was resurrected in Dragon Ball GT, the most he could do was destroy a planet. This would be a really good fight. Yeah. Endurance shrugs off hits from Viltrumite to empower and he and his companions. Exchanges blows with Thrag. Unaffected by snowy climate. Fought a dragon for over 10 hours. Survived enslavement. Fought a one-man war against a civilization. Speed, that's important. Okay. Said to fly at speeds rivaling starships without allowing him to use internal flight. Within a day, fights a dragon in Taiwan. Floods Egypt. Whooshes in a dinner table. So he goes to Taiwan and to Egypt and then gets dinner in a day. Noting that he can write a book in a day if he has a couple key words. Wishes away, tending to a disaster becoming a blur. That's pretty fast. Taiwan to Egypt to home. Fuck, dude. From Asia to Africa. And let's say to America, right? Are the Saiyans that fast? They can travel from planet to planet, so the Saiyans are pretty fast, to be honest with you. Omni-Man is like multi-continental to small planetary. That's a good one, yeah. This is an even fight. This is an even fight. I don't think Omni-Man could destroy a planet. I don't think Bardock could destroy a planet, to be honest with you. So yeah, dude, this is a great fight. Fuck, dude. Yeah, do they have a death battle on this? Shit. Do they have this yet? Bardock versus Omni-Man. I would love to see. Has someone done this yet? Death battle? Isn't fair? Oh shit.
After seeing everyone cry about me putting Frieza and really get behind, we see Omni-Man along with two other Viltrumites needing to specifically hit a point in a planet in order to fully destroy it. Had got for Omni-Man. So let's pretty much means the result of you being 2% stronger than someone in Dragon Ball is the equivalent of how humans interact with Viltrumites. Okay, probably gives him like 2 or 3 fights. So don't be surprised that Bardock doesn't have a direct feat of like hyper blitzing light or something. As far as Bardock's abilities, like Omni-Man, he has enhanced stats in flight and the ability to get stronger through rage. But unlike Omni-Man, he does have a little bit more going for him as he has key manipulation, but we do know in the games he seems like he can transform into it. I'm not going to be using it for this versus battle anymore, just barely scratching the surface of what most Dragon Ball characters can reach. But honestly, it doesn't mean much when you see how Omni-Man specifically fights. He usually just flies in high speed and beats down the opponent with brute force, so if Bardock was to try and hit Omni-Man and Omni-Man started weaving and proceeded to try and fly into Bardock, he would get crushed due to the sheer gap in raw power. It'd be a similar outcome to a human running into a concrete wall at max speed, or how Red Rush and the other Guardians interacted with Omni-Man. Omni-Man just off of the impact would break every single bone in his body, allowing Bardock to easily shoot and just atomize the Viltrumite. He doesn't even need to move. Bardock would not even need Great Ape, let alone Super Saiyan, so yeah, Bardock is him, and hopefully Death Battle doesn't fumble this matchup, but as we all know, they probably will.
So he thinks Bardock would win. I mean, if Bardock goes Super Saiyan, it's fucking over. It's done. So let's not even go Super Saiyan. Let's not even go there. Because if Bardock goes Super Saiyan, it's done. Fuck, dude. So it looks like he thinks that Bardock would win. I mean, I'm just a Dragon Ball nerd, so I gotta go with Bardock as well. Bowser versus Eggman. What the hell? Nice. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Bardock has a tail, dude. Yeah, if Bardock can go Great Ape, it's probably going to be over for him. Super Saiyan shouldn't count, though. Yeah, Super Saiyan doesn't count. Super Saiyan is broken,
what's
dude.
going on? My name is Ty Learned, and today with me I have Lonk's takes.
Nah, dude, if Bardock goes Super Saiyan, it's fucking over. It's not fair. The only fair fight is if Bardock stays, like, base form. Plus, like, Super Saiyan Bardock is not canon. It's not canon. Ouch. No, it's not canon. It's not canon. Bardock cannot go Super Saiyan. But because Bardock has a tail, then he definitely can go Great Ape. And I think, honestly, like, all of what I said where they're about even, they're both, like, city level. Or what'd you say? Like, continental level? Yeah. Omni-Man is multi-continental to small planetary. Yeah, exactly. I would say that's fair. When I think about Bardock, he's on the same level as Nappa. You know, Nappa was able to wipe out an entire city, right? So he's not in one hit, right? He's able to destroy a city in one hit, dude. Like Nappa destroys a city in one hit. Nappa destroys city, right? He destroys a whole city in like one hit. He does it twice. Yeah, he does it twice.
Alien!
He just wipes out a whole fucking city with one hit, right? And like you can see it from outer space.
What are they doing?
Right, so he nukes a whole fucking city. Yeah, that's definitely multi-continental level. This is about the strength of Bardock as well. He's about that strong. Omni-Man is more invincible than you think. Really? Okay. So can Omni-Man, the thing is, can Omni-Man beat that? Like, can Omni-Man, like, could Omni-Man destroy a whole city in one hit? Because this is about, in my opinion, this is the best example of how strong Bardock is. I think he's equally as strong as Nappa, but Bardock is not evil, so he's not going to nuke a whole city for no fucking reason. You know, he's not going to do that. But he could, right? He could do that, but he's not going to do it because he's a good guy. Invincible is his son, same powers, just half human and half Viltrumite. Look at the video posted on Discord, okay? So, Death Battle, okay.
Omni-Man,
Earth's once greatest hero. Alongside the Guardians of the Globe, he protected the world from all manner of threats. And then, in a single day, it all went horribly wrong.
Why, Omni-Man? How, Omni-Man? Who, Omni-Man?
Who indeed? Champion of Earth, best-selling author J.K. Simmons, yet it was all a charade, with his murderous rampage only brought to a halt thanks to his own son.
It all starts with his home planet, Viltrum, which I hear is a totally lovely utopia.
Through brutal mortal combat.
With a K! Or, wait, no, that came later.
Viltrumites are among the most powerful beings in the universe, even more so after they purge the weaker members of their species. As a vanguard of the Viltrumite Empire, Omni-Man infiltrated Earth as Nolan Grayson, expected to prepare the planet for Imperial assimilation.
Which should have been easy, since he's got your classic strongman superpowers and he's basically invulnerable, easily knocking around asteroids the size of Texas.
He can fly at unbelievable speeds, soaring from Earth to the planet Thraxa in under 1 week. Thraxa is, quote, a couple galaxies away, give or take, so a minimum of 2 galaxies. Beyond the Milky Way's neighbor Andromeda is the lesser-known Triangulum Galaxy, which is over 2.7 million light-years away. Reaching it in under 1 week means Omni-Man must have flown over 142 million times faster than light.
Oh, and Viltrumites can't breathe in space, so he held his breath the whole way. And it's not like he was in a rush. He was on a soul-searching.
But the thing is that a Kamehameha is about as fast as light as well. So it's a really good fight, honestly, between Bardock and Omni-Man.
Smashing his own son's face in. Think, Nolan, think.
Yeah, this is why I'm never having kids.
You're missing out. But according to another Viltrumite, Thetis, a bunch of other Viltrumites who actually were in a hurry flew to Viltrum across the Virgo supercluster in less than 24 hours.
That's over 20 billion times faster than light.
They don't really need to rush anyway. The older a Viltrumite gets, the slower they age.
According to the Invincible Handbook, Nolan is over 2,000 years old. And regardless of age, Viltrumites don't suffer muscle fatigue like humans do, so they rarely ever tire out.
Seriously? He's got parenting easy mode on, and he couldn't even handle that. I would have killed for that back when my daughter was born.
Well, you would have to be a Viltrumite first. A Viltrumite's body contains smart atoms, which they subconsciously manipulate. This cellular structure can effectively recall certain states of being regardless of their present environment, reacting to changes at an atomic level to perform the impossible.
Yeah, like surviving your intestines getting ripped out, or even more scary, ripping out your whole beard all at once. Ugh. Only a Viltrumite could pull off something that disturbing.
Nolan is incredibly tough, but if he faces superior forces, his smart atoms can adjust to make him even stronger by comparison. This is why Viltrumites are considered in...
Hello? Where'd the footage go? Oh no, I knew going independent would involve some cost cutting, but did we blow the whole budget already?
Oh, don't freak out, Wiz. We'll just pull some funds from my beer stash. I'll share.
Your what stat?
Yeah. So if they can regenerate, that's a big benefit to the Viltrumites slash Omni-Man. Like, it would be very good for Omni-Man if he can regen. If he can regenerate, a Saiyan cannot do that. A Saiyan does get stronger every time he loses, though. So Saiyans are getting stronger and stronger mid-fight. They seem about equal. As far as speed goes, they seem about equal. I don't know. The thing is that Bardock can transform into the Great Ape. What is the multiplier for the Great Ape? Great Ape multiplier. So 10 times the power. Good God. So, I don't know. They seem pretty even. They seem pretty equal. The regeneration, I think, is the number one thing that helps Omni-Man. I don't even know how well he can regen, though. Can he regenerate? Omni-Man regeneration? Like, how does it work exactly? That's the thing. It depends on his regen. Omni-Man regeneration. high durability. That's fine. How do their teeth come back? They can heal from almost any injury, kind of like Deadpool. They're not as fast, and they can regrow lost limbs. That's really good, actually. But it doesn't sound like they can do it right away. It sounds like it takes time. I don't think they can grow it right away. It says that it's not fast. I'm assuming species live for thousands of years. You can regrow teeth and other appendages. So they regrow it. They grow it back. Nah, that's not... The thing isn't a fight. That's just not fast enough. The regeneration is not fast enough to win a fight, I don't think. Does Bardock need a moon? No, because he can create his own moon. Saiyan fake moon. And it was actually an attack that was invented by Bardock. So this attack that they have here, it can mimic the presence of the full moon. And they say that it was invented by Bardock. Actually. Turtles can use it, right? So yeah, Bardock can use this move. Where they can make their own fake moon. King Vegeta holding a power ball. Yeah, and in the anime and manga, it actually says that Bardock can make the power ball. In the Ocean dub, Vegeta states that Goku's father invented the power ball. Okay, so this was just the dub. I think the dub kind of fucked it up. Referring to him as an average fighter but a brilliant scientist, this was obviously an error, as a TV special Bardock is shown to be a soldier, not a scientist. Although he was regarded as a wise battle strategist by the scientists, Vegeta may simply have meant that Bardock had an excellent scientific mind as well as being a fighter. This is further contradicted in sources such as Cucumber and Ancient Saiyan can create one as well. Ironically, this special Bardock was a brilliant fighter, but an average thinker, the reverse of what Vegeta said in Ocean dub. Even after Turtles destroys his power ball, Gohan's still a great ape, which hints that the effects are long-lasting. A similar occurrence happened in Xenoverse when Bardock destroys the power ball Vegeta created after using it on himself to prevent Broly from becoming a great ape. Right, so Vegeta can use it, Turtles can use it, and one of the dubs says that... The dub says that Bardock invented the power ball, which would mean that Bardock could create his own fake moon and then multiply his power by 10, but he would lose his ability to control himself, so he could no longer control himself. But who cares? This is a death battle, right? Who gives a shit if he kills his own friends, right? The point is, in this case, to defeat your enemy, right? And the only way to stop it would be to cut off his tail. So at that point, Omni-Man would have to cut off his tail to bring him back to normal form. Bardock, right? Bardock invented it technically, but we don't know for sure because it was a dub. Apparently the dub was a mistake. Does Bardock need the moon? Yes. Well, no. Yes and no. He doesn't need the moon because he can create a fake moon at any time. He can just make one. But yeah, this would be a great fight, honestly. This would be an excellent fight. I'm leaning towards Bardock, but the regeneration is good on him, on Omni-Man. If he's like Continental level, that I think that puts him about the same power. I don't think neither of them could destroy like the planet. But yeah, it just depends on if he's able to destroy a city or not. Right, he can just nuke a city. That's the thing. But I guess that's compared to Continental level. I would say, honestly, this is probably as powerful as Nappa is. But is that as strong as a continent? Not quite, right? He can destroy a whole city in one hit. I mean, when pushed to his limit, I'm sure he could go a little bit further, but yeah. Maybe Omni-Man is more powerful if he truly is continental level. From the fights that I saw, he's just kind of fighting in a city. He's kind of like destroying tanks and stuff, which like Nappa can do that. Nappa versus the Navy. Nappa destroys a whole fucking Navy. He just cuts through a freaking jet, right? They're both the fathers of the main heroes. Yeah. Oh, really? That's interesting. Invincible is the main character. That's interesting. Yeah, see, I never. Where is Omni Man even from? Omni Man. Not the respect thread, just regular Omni Man. Image Comics. Supreme. 1997 was his first appearance. Nice. So he first appeared on Invincible. Pretty cool. Yeah, interesting, interesting. So he beats the main character. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. If he is continental, and let's just go ahead and wank him. Let's go ahead and wank him, right? Then maybe Omni Man is more powerful than what's his name? Than Bardock. Maybe. But even if he was, Bardock can, if he turns into Great Ape, then Bardock will be more powerful. But at that point, he'll lose his intelligence and his control, so he won't be able to strategize. So at that point, it depends on how intelligent Omni-Man is. I don't know if there's any intelligence feats, but it doesn't seem like he's a particularly intelligent guy. So he would have to figure out that cutting out the tail will return him to his regular form, and I don't know if he's smart enough to do that. And if he can't, if he's unable to figure out that you have to cut off his tail to win, then Omni-Man loses. That's how I think it works. I think Omni-Man is stronger than Bardock. I think Bardock would have to go Great Ape, and then if Omni-Man can figure out that you have to cut his tail off, then Omni-Man wins. But if he doesn't figure that out, then Bardock wins. I think at the end of the day, they both have like pretty even strength, and it would depend on intelligence at that point. Who's are better at strategy? Who's better at strategy and stuff like that? I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day between Bardock and Omni-Man. Great fight though. Great fight. Omni-Man has 2,000 years of fighting experience, right? That's true. Yeah, so yeah, he would be more experienced for sure. He would be more experienced. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah. So yeah, gosh, what a good fight. That was a great death battle, guys. Fucking Omni-Man, dude. Okay, I think that's good, guys. So Omni-Man versus Bardock, I would say it depends on who's more intelligent. And I don't see any information of that on the respect thread. 2,000 years of fighting experience is really good, though. The thing about the Saiyans is that they are pretty much in full instinct. They're full instinct. They're like genius fighters. They can look at somebody fight and they can copy their abilities just by looking, right? So a Saiyan can look at you do something and learn it. They can see you shoot a Kamehameha and they can learn it just by looking at it. So Saiyans can learn fighting techniques and abilities just by looking at them. and they can get it right the first time, which is kind of crazy. The official episode is coming out on Sunday. Okay, okay. Maybe I'll post this video before then just to steal some of the views. But I'm gonna go with Omni Man on this one. No. I'm gonna go with Bardock. It's because I'm a Saiyan. I'm a freaking like Dragon Ball nerd. Um, yeah, because when Great Ape goes, I don't know. Vegeta was able to control himself as a Great Ape, but Goku was not. So that's the big difference, I would say. Even when Goku as a Super Saiyan in GT, he could not control his Great Ape form. Like only Vegeta can. But in the flashbacks, and Gohan cannot control himself as a Great Ape either. But in the flashbacks of the anime, it shows like a team of Great Apes coming together and blasting and taking over cities. So it's not just Vegeta. I think Bardock could control himself as a Great Ape as well. So he's still going to have some intelligence. But I just don't know if he keeps the full intelligence. So, yeah. I think they win I think Omni-Man wins until Bardock becomes a Great Ape. Because I don't think that Bardock is continental level. Yeah, see, if they could work together as a team of Great Apes, then that means that they can control themselves a little bit more. But Goku and Gohan could not control themselves. But Bardock can. Bardock can control himself. I don't know if he could control himself fully and completely, but yeah, he could definitely control himself. At least somewhat. Enough to like team up with his teammates, right? So this would be a great fight, guys. This is a really good fight, I gotta say. Great Ape Bardock. Yeah, I gotta say, guys, this is an excellent battle. This is so close. But I don't think that Bardock is continental, unless he's stronger than Nappa. Because Nappa, I don't know. I mean, also when Nappa blew up the city, he just did it with like 2 fingers, right? So he's not really trying that hard, is the thing. Nappa just did it with 2 fingers. So he can destroy an entire city with just 2 fingers, okay? What if he did it with the rest of his hand? What if he did it with both of his hands, right? So, I don't know. To be honest with you, we don't really get to see it, but I feel like Nappa could destroy an entire continent if he wanted to. Because over here, he's just laughing. He's just laughing, right? He's like smiling and he's having fun. And in the anime, that's what he says. He says, "Oh, I'm bored waiting for Goku. I'm bored waiting for Piccolo. I'm bored waiting for these people to show up and fight me. Let me just go destroy a full city." So he does it just because he's bored, not because he's even serious. You know what I mean? So he's not even serious. So he blows up a full city not even being serious, right? He's not even being serious. So if he was serious, I think you could say he's about continental, but we don't have that feat is the thing. So I think we could go ahead and say Omni-Man is more powerful. But they're still relative enough, that he wouldn't just like one-shot Bardock. He couldn't just punch him in one hit and kill him, I don't think. So, yeah, how do I think it will go? I think that all right. Nappa destroys a city with 2 fingers. Omni-Man is continent level, right? To small planet, right? To small planet. Okay. If Nappa can destroy a whole city with just 2 fingers, then he can destroy a continent. Let's just say. Nappa is continental. Not sure if small planet. Vegeta his partner can destroy a planet. Okay. Um. So then what's Nappa's power level? It's 10,000. And what's Vegeta's power level? Saiyan Saga. Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga is 1800. Okay. So that means that somewhere in between 10,000 and 18,000, you're strong enough to destroy a planet. Vegeta can destroy a planet, and let's take a look at that actually, because that's pretty important. So Vegeta destroys planet.
Let's go, Nappa. I got Earth to problem.
Okay, so he does it with 2 fucking fingers, but you can see his whole body is like lighting up. So it seems like he's using a lot of energy. And I also don't know the size of this planet. I don't know if it's like a big or small planet compared to Earth.
Lemlia, my darling. My darling. At last we can be together forever.
Vegeta's such an evil bastard, dude.
There's nothing like a little fireworks when you say goodbye. They're mine too. Nice touch.
So
Made the universe a cleaner place today.
Arlia deserved what they got. I just hope Earth is a lot better than that planet.
It will be. Unfinished business to take care of.
okay, so it's hard. It's hard to say. So Vegeta here is using his whole body. He's concentrating the power from his whole body into his 2 fingers, okay? It doesn't look like he's breaking a sweat, though. It doesn't look like his muscles are all puffed up, right? So it doesn't look like he's using his full energy either, okay? And during the Saiyan Saga at 1800, that's not his full power either. Okay, he goes higher than this. So 1800 is fine, I think. It's a good power level to use. At Great Ape, it's times 10, right? Namek Saga is 2400. Okay. So yeah. 1800 is good. Okay. So Nappa's 10,000. So if Nappa cannot destroy a planet, and if 10,000 is continental, that means that somewhere between 18,000 and 10,000 is planet busting. Okay. Vegeta, out of his 18,000, he doesn't need to use that much power, but he's still using his full body to destroy it. So I don't think he's using the full 18,000 strength to destroy a planet here. Let's knock it down to like 16,000, maybe 15,000, just to be generous. And Nappa cannot destroy it at 10,000. So let's just to make the numbers easy, let's go halfway through. So halfway between 18,000 and 10,000 is what? 14,000. Let's just make it easy. So yeah, 10,000 and 18,000 is not that far. It's almost double, I guess. It's almost double, to be honest with you. It's almost double. But the thing is that Vegeta's not using his full strength, though. He's not using 18,000. That's the thing. So yeah, so that would put Nappa pretty close to small planet level, honestly. If it takes like 15,000 to destroy a planet, and Nappa is at 10,000 power, he's 2/3 of the way there. So he's like able to destroy 2/3 of a planet, pretty much. So yeah, I would say they're pretty equal. So then at that point, it would be who's stronger, Bardock or Nappa, but they're pretty much the same, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think they're pretty even in strength. if they were fighting, I think it would depend on who's more intelligent, and I think that uh, what's his name? I think that Omni Man has the advantage with the experience there. But then if Bardock goes Great Ape, I don't even know, dude. And also Saiyans get stronger every time you beat them. So, but it looks like the Vitrumites can do that too. They can get stronger. Yeah, and Bardock particularly, he gets a rage boost. Let's see, what's Bardock's power level actually? Non-canon power level of 10,000. It contradicts the manga, right? So yeah, he's literally the exact same power as Nappa, basically. Bardock is 74 septillion power level at Super Saiyan 3 times 65. The fuck? Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, dude, this is a great fight. This would be such a good fight. I think Bardock would have to go Great Ape. He would have to. That's the only way he can win this fight, I think. I think that's a good fight. And if he does not go Great Ape, then I think Omni Man wins because I think he has more intelligence. I think he has more experience. So yeah. No transformations. Omni Man wins. But the thing about Dragon Ball is that they're always transforming all the time. But yeah. But then if Omni Man could figure out that you cut off Bardock's tail, then Omni Man still wins. Even if Bardock transforms, then Omni Man can still win. So yeah, great fight. I think it'd be a great fight. I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna give it to Bardock because I think he would go Great Ape and he can control himself. And even if Omni Man figured out that he could cut off his tail, I think that Bardock could block that. He'd be like, "Uh-oh," because I think he still maintains some intelligence. So I think I'm gonna give it to Bardock, just because we did the power scaling. I think 10,000 is enough. I think power level of 10,000 is enough to wipe out 2/3 of a planet. I think. So that's my opinion, guys. But great death battle, guys. Thank you for this. I'll let you guys know when the next stream is. On the next stream, I want to do Light versus Columbo. I've been researching and I've been watching some Columbo shows. Like I said, I know everything about Death Note. I really do. So, and since Death Battle's already doing Nappa or Bardock versus Omni Man, I kind of want to beat them to Light and Columbo. So, I'm biased though. I'm so biased because I like Death Note, but I'm enjoying Columbo so far. So I'm going to keep researching Columbo, guys. Thank you for bringing this stuff up. Actually, guys, like, this is such a good idea. Like, this is a great death battle. Light versus Columbo. Bardock versus, not Nappa. Bardock versus Yakub. Bardock versus P. Diddy. No, Bardock versus Omni-Man. Versus Ellen Page. Versus Kanye, versus Puff Daddy, versus Yakub. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that I've been away for so long, but I am trying to get back into streaming. I guess I have to find a new schedule now since I've been out of it for so long. But I'll let you guys know on Discord when I'm streaming. But yeah, the next stream I'm planning to do Columbo versus Light. I want to do the research. I've been researching on my own, but I want to research on stream as well, just to show you guys what I know so far. But yeah, Dragon Slayer, bro, appreciate you. Robot King, thank you so much for sharing your book. We can definitely read more of your book again on the next stream. I'm sorry we couldn't get to it today, but I gotta rest. I only got 4 hours of sleep today because I had to wake up early and watch Arsenal play. And that was a good game. Arsenal, which is North London, just destroyed fucking Paris 2-0. I mean, it wasn't destruction, but yeah. Is the stream over? Yeah, I have to get rest. I'm sorry. I only got 4 hours of sleep, and I start work in 3 hours. So I need to get some rest. I need to go take a nap basically before I start work. But yeah, I'll let you guys know on the Discord when my next stream is gonna be. I'm sorry, I have to find a new schedule. I'm trying to figure out a new schedule. Maybe this early time is better for me. I don't know yet specifically, but I'm gonna be letting you guys know until I figure out a new schedule. What I'm gonna be working on is Light versus Columbo. That's what I'm gonna be working on. And then after that, and then we can read the book as well on the next stream, and then I'll let you guys know when the new schedule is. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna go take a nap before work, and then I'll see you guys later. Peace.